Skateboards for Life Skateboards. Today I don't have that much work to do. It's the weekend. I need to make my own board. This is my signature shape from Life Skateboards. You can get it at lifeskateboard.com. Sam already went ahead and cut out the shape for me. So today I'm just going to be shaping this board and applying the graphic. I know a few of you have been curious on how a graphic application works here at Life Skateboards. So hopefully this live goes well. I'm realizing I was tired and forgot my gauge this morning. Oops. Remember, just go to lifeskateboard.com. Get a board. I'm the sole hourly employee here, so every time you get a board, you give me more work. And you can also go to butterbarswax.com and support the other thing I'm doing, making handcrafted wax. Say handcrafted. I'm hand printing the packaging for the wax, pouring it myself, and then proceeds from it help the community and help the team. Justin Hutchins and Charlie Six. We're going to have an announcement soon for a third team member, and then hopefully an announcement for a guest pro. The last live I did, there was someone watching that was telling me about their dog that passed, so I'm going to go ahead and put... Alright. So, I'm going to go through each of these steps since I'm going to be doing this one at a time here. Give me a moment. Let me throw on my respirator. So, first, I press the boards. They sit in the press for 24 hours and then cure for a week. Sam takes those uncuts, attaches it to a template, and cuts out the truck. And then he attaches that to this right here, cuts out the shape, and this is what I come into. So you see the edge there is not at a 90 to the concave. It needs to be able to cut it at to be able to cut the edge into a rounded edge. I'm gonna throw this respirator on and use the belt sander here to do that. Most of the time on my lives, I'm on the clock and I'm working, so I can't really go through all these steps individually, but I am doing my own board today, so this is on my time. So let's shape this funky ass board. Alright, so now that the edge is at a 90 to the concave, this edge router will be able to bring that edge and round it off. I'm going to raise you guys up here, and you guys can watch real close at what's happening there. Hopefully you guys can see it as it's happening. The bottom edge is rounded, and take it back through to the top edge. that edge is rounded, but it's a little bit rough. Also, I see that Morgan is in here. Hi, Morgan. I'm going to go ahead and make her a moderator on this. Morgan is my lovely lady there. Oh, wait, I already made her a moderator. Never mind. Everybody listen to Morgan. She's in charge. Hello, Flip. So after that step, we've got a round edge, but a little bit rough. So we're going to use this drum here to clean up those edges. I know, Morgan, I'm sorry. She's always in charge. We're going to clean up the edges and get some of the excess glue off of there with this one. Obviously, we can't get the glue that's up here. We're going to have to get that with the orbital. It's just getting these lines off and things like that. And one thing to point out here, so I ride for the Life Skateboards team, and when I get a board, it's one of the blends that a customer isn't going to skate. So as you can see here, there's a little bit of a split, and that's why it's mine, because it's not going to make it to a customer. I'm skating it, the guy that made it. You can buy that board. Hey, that's awesome. I'm going to take this off and talk to you. So this is actually my signature shape that I designed. You can go to lifeskateboard.com right here. Go ahead and screenshot that. And it's in the signature section under Casper. It's the Casper signature. I'm going to go ahead and measure this for you while we're here because it's a little hard to tell you how wide it is with it being so odd. I designed this to be as functional, as funky as possible while still being functional. It widens out to about 8.5 at its widest point on the tail, narrows back down to an 8-inch on the back truck bed, and then where your wheels touch, it gets it out to about 9.5. That's what I like. My wheel, but obviously, wheels are going to turn and move this direction. So your wheels stick out a little bit, but they touch inside the board. The very center of your board is just shy of a 9. I like these curves here. When I do a front foot impossible, it wraps around my toe really well. Right at the front truck bed, you go from 9 3/4 down to 9. Gets all the way down to a 6 3/4, and then flares back out to a 7 at the tip of the nose. Little explanation on the actual shape itself. I was skating the Stinger. I stood on a template for it, moved my feet for everything I do, and cut off what I didn't touch. So I was just trying to take weight off and make it fun. Like I said, these curves are nice for front foot impossible wraps or just wraps in general. These curves feel real nice for grabs, as well as these. Like to hang my heel off the back here to be able to shove it into things, be able to do like rock smith combos, stuff like that. And I really just like the fishtail. Really fun. This is the second version of this shape. Hey, thank you, Flip. We appreciate you. This is one of our over 77 shapes listed on the website. So this is the second version of this shape. The first version was a little bit narrower up here and back here. But as you can tell, all of these curves right at the tip of the concave means that all the pressure is applied right here. So if this is narrow, it's going to be a weak point. So we decided to beef it up a little bit, and it's been stronger since then. Hey, thank you, Exotic. I'm going to get back to shaping these. Oh, like a Coke bottle. Yeah, dude, that would be funny. So the graphic for this is actually, it was designed by Ben Blakely. I've got it over in the other room. I tend to mix some of the graphics, but this one is, I really liked a drawing that Ben had done of it's like a ghost, skeleton ripping out of the throat of a scarecrow. So I asked him if he could do that same graphic with Casper the Ghost ripping out of its throat with my same tattoos and everything. So he went and did that. It actually matches the shape really well. But we also made a graphic for my dog. So I've been doing a lot of like slapping this graphic up down here and my graphic up here. We'll actually get into graphic application on this live. So after I'm done with these steps here, we're going to hop over into the printing studio and print my board. What you're going to see me do on that board is what's considered a Casper collage on the website. You would order a collage and put Casper collage in the notes. It's where I just kind of do my thing on the graphic. I'm going to do background patterns, double prints to make it pop, all kinds of fun stuff. Again, that's lifeskateboard.com. I'm going to go ahead and get back to cleaning up the edges on this. Then we're going to hop to the Mac wheel, onto the orbital, and then I'm going to tape off some of the board to make to stencil out the graphic a little bit. Alrighty, gonna hop here real quick, and we're gonna play with this. So now those edges are super clean. We're going to do one more step of cleanup over here on the Mac wheel, and then we're going to hit it with the orbital, and it's ready for graphic. Alrighty. Whew. And we're back to orbital. So this is the final step before graphics. One thing you're going to notice is I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the top of my board. I apply a decal non-abrasive grip tape to all of my decks, and I've noticed that it likes to adhere to something that's not super smooth. Odd things that you're able to control when you make your own board. I do a little bit less clear coat on the top of my boards as well. And if you haven't tried decal non-abrasive grip tape, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. It's great. It saves me about $1,000 a year on shoes. I love it. Cord wasn't plugged in on the way. My bad. So, we're gonna do the top and bottom, and then we're gonna do either side. And like I said, we're gonna go tape off the bottom to make the graphic a little bit more fun. I might get out of here so I can go home and play with my dog, and then make it to a skate session at LP tonight. A bunch of you guys watching today, and if you guys are enjoying what you're watching, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. And if you're local to Indianapolis, make sure you get out at LP tonight. There's going to be a ladies skate squad meetup. Going to be a fun session, always a great time. Not just for the women, it's just a safe place for them. Now we're going to get to the bottom. You can see it on here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's little lines in the veneer. It's just how a lot of the maple comes. I don't like seeing those. We never let that get out to a customer. So it's going to be spending a little bit more time on the bottom line here. Hope you guys are enjoying watching this. Don't forget you can get one of these boards at lifeskateboard.com. That's lifeskateboards.com. Why did I write forward and backwards? Because YouTube really likes to mess with my lives. And don't forget guys, if you enjoy watching this, subscribe for me. I do a lot of lives while I'm at work. I do lives at events that I'm at, post videos of those events, and sometimes lives just skating, playing with my dog, that kind of thing. If you're enjoying it, thank you. I appreciate you all. Hello. How do you make skateboards like this? Actually, the pressing room's in the other room. Somebody just said how in the chat, and I'm gonna take that how I want Alright, so now the top and the bottom are cleaned up, and we're gonna go for the edges. They're pretty clean, but this last step just kind of gets them perfectly rounded off. A perfectly rounded off edge is going to be less likely to catch on things when you put it into the wall. So we're a board manufacturer, so we can put whatever you want. This is our drill presses right there. But yes, this has normal truck hole patterns. We can do old school truck hole patterns. I specifically selected this wheelbase. It's a little bit shorter than the length would imply. That's because I pulled it from our mid-twin. That was the shape I was skating before I made this. Hello, Fawn. Thank you for tuning Not much. Making my own board today. That's all I gotta do. After I'm done with this step, we're gonna apply graphics. So stay tuned. We discussed earlier. Oh, thanks. So I think Donnie just said, "Can you make an Ed Templeton double kick tail?" I would suggest going to lifeskateboard.com and checking out our over 77 shapes. Double kick tail sounds like our mid twin, our small twin, our big twin, our twin popsicle, whatever you want. The way we apply our graphics is with a hand carved lino block. So we aren't doing heat transfers because heat transfers suck. They're easier to apply the graphic, but it damages the board, so we don't do that. So we have a set list of graphics that you can choose from, but we can do whatever you want as far as shapes and everything because we do everything in-house. Sky asked, how on average, how long does it take to make a board from scratch? So we set our turnaround time to 2 to 3 weeks for customs. And that would be because, and I'll show you here. Once again, I'm not on the clock today. I'm making my own board. So congratulations, you guys get me to answer questions right away. So when we press the boards, they sit in the press for 24 hours. And then they have to sit in a stack of their own concave for a week to cure. And then they can be cut. So then Sam cuts the shape out. That takes him a few minutes right here. And then I get in here to shape the board. If it's a popsicle, it doesn't take much time at all. Then we apply the graphic. Once that ink dries, apply the clear coat. Once that dries, it's good to go. So after that 8-day waiting period of making sure that the board is ready to be cut and it's gonna keep its concave and stay strong and not delam, we can do a pretty quick turnaround on that. The reason that we have a longer wait time than that 8 days is just because sometimes we can't get in here on that first day afterwards. Or let's say we just pressed you a custom board, like every single ply you chose. And then we put 4 of them in here and all 4 of them split. But we just want to cover that basis. So we tend to beat our maximum turnaround time, but we just make sure that we cover our bases just in case anything were to happen. Because, like I said, we do everything in-house here at Life Skateboards, so that means we're responsible for everything. So if there's a DLAM issue, you know who to blame. If there's a premature break, you know who to blame. And we stand behind our product because our product lasts so long and it's built so well. So if there is an issue with it, it's something we did, we own up to it, and we remake it for you. So that was a long answer. Sorry about that. I was doing something. I think I'm about done shaping that one. And then I'm going to tape it. Oh, while I'm in here, I'm going to grab the tape. Sorry, we're just walking you guys around. There's the original shape right up there. There's one up there too. These are all my old boards. This is like my office right here. See? This is where I glue and press everything. Sam calls it my office. I like it. When I need to clean it up, Sam says, clean up your room. This is the board I broke my leg on, and then the board that I shaped after the x-ray. You guys are getting the tour today. Congrats. Now I need to grab some tape, and we'll move on to back into this room. If you have any questions while we're walking through here, feel free to ask. Like I said, today I am not on the clock, so I am just doing my own thing, and nothing holds me up. Hey Eli, thanks for popping in here. Looks like I already finished it. That's good to me. I really like this purple. How did I get started? So I joined the company a few years ago. There's a couple questions just popped up. Somebody said, how did you get started? So I started with Life a few years ago. I've got some background in the skateboarding industry, riding for Dead End, and then working in a skate shop. But Sam, my boss, who's been skating since the 80s, early 2000s, opened up a skate shop in Indiana called Life Skateboards. 2012, he pressed his own board. He's a woodworker by trade, and the rest is history. He posted about a job listing. Someone sent it to me. I messaged him. He already had me in mind. Everything worked out. It's been great. But a lot of I know that a lot of the startup for this is just a lot of trial and error. Yep. Next question was, what's your favorite step of making the board? Honestly, probably graphic applications. Probably graphic application. It's pretty satisfying. Either that or the edge router. That's a satisfying step too. Do you skate street or transition? I skate everything. The majority of what you're going to see on my page is going to be park, because when I have a street session, it's very cathartic. What I generally do is go downtown, pay for parking for the rest of the day, leave my phone in the car, and take off. And that's how I like to skate street. Hey, somebody said block printing. Block printing is dope. I love that. Am I teaching this? No, I'm not teaching it. I mean, I can obviously, so what we do is not a secret. A lot of companies like to keep processes a secret. We're under the impression that if you're hiding something, that's a little bit iffy. So we want to be able to show you absolutely every step of the process, answer all of your questions. If you're wanting to do something like this, it's going to take a lot of trial and error. And what would make us happy is if we're rivaling the industry standard. So if a bunch of people popped up rivaling the industry standard and actually held quality over quantity, we're not going to be upset about it. Thank you. I love my tattoos too. Quick question, what kind of bearings do you prefer? That's actually a really good question. I rode for a company called Superfly Speedball Bearings. The owner, Quentin Bradford, passed away, and there hasn't been much movement as far as what's going to happen with the company. But we do have a big stock of them here, and I'm going to ride those until they're gone, because Quentin was a great person. Having a little piece of him in my skateboarding, it means a lot to me. So I haven't really branched outside of that, and I'm hoping that things continue with it. If not, I'm probably gonna just keep cleaning the Superflies that I have until they're nothing, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, it's with him gone, I've been I still list him as a sponsor for everything because I want him and his work to continue living on. That board looks thick. How many plies? So that's actually an illusion. You say the board looks thick. This is only a 7-ply board. What you think is thick is just called good concave. Most boards don't have this good a concave, and that's why a lot of people assume this is really thick. It's not. We achieve an extremely deep concave and consistent concave on our boards by placing a maximum of 3 inside the molds. When you press a bunch of them, those ones in the middle are going to have a different concave than the ones on the outside. And we don't think that's very, very smart, very good, or very fair to the customer. So we don't do that. We achieve an extremely deep concave. Actually, our only negative review on Google is someone complaining about how deep our concave is. We offer mellow, so we used that review for an ad. Hey, hey Jake, that's interesting. Hey, yeah, it's you just said you saw me carving blocks. I'm about to go print with them. I've never printed on the boards with these. That's awesome to have you back here. Thank you, man. I love deeper concave. So for deeper concave, it's gonna flick faster, but there's deep concave that's not good. So here, I'll pull out an example here. So this is a 6-ply popsicle right here. Just look how good that concave is. The other part of having deep concave that just sits right in the truck bed like that, dips down for your money bumps, it feels like it locks your feet into place. I noticed that immediately the first time I put my feet on one of these boards, and I love it. I'm sorry, seeing a Dogtown deck like that. I'm not really familiar with which wood shop Dogtown was currently using at the time that those reprints were made, but still a little confused on what you mean, Donnie. Like what? Deep concave? I will say that the general industry just can't do that deep concave very well. Even the ones that call themselves steep are pretty lackluster as far as that goes. Thanks, Vaughn. I appreciate you. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I double flip this thing, and every time I step on a normal popsicle, it feels like I can triple flip it. I actually just learned 540 flips last week on this shape. So, yeah. I don't know. Whenever anybody says that I don't know, I can quad flip a 2x4. Yes, somebody finally said it. Thank you, Parker. The Easy Rider concave is too flat now. I strongly agree. We actually had to make a mellow concave just so that some of our customers would be happier about it. I don't enjoy it at all. I set up a board with it, and it's I don't know. I used to skate factory-made boards, and flat boards just aren't that fun. And then you get some deep concaves that just the concave's not good. I don't know. I've got opinions. I'm an opinionated guy. You can take them all with a grain of salt because they're my opinions, and skateboarding is extremely personal. But when it comes to quality, you can take my word for it. Because I used to work in a shop. I was going through a deck a week. That's the only reason I was able to continue skating was because I was working in a shop. They found these. They started lasting me a month. That's insane to me. Hey, thank you, Donnie. I appreciate you. I was just a little confused on that one. Yes, dude. Thank you, Scott. And you know what? We do have some board, like, I've skated boards that are all the way flat. They're weird. But, like, some of them, single kicks end up looking cool if they've got a spoon concave in the nose. I don't know. Santa Cruz did some cool stuff with the flat bottom concaves. but just a really good, deep, rounded out concave is always your best option. Anyway, like 10 minutes ago, I was talking about doing the graphic on this. I think we're going to get to that. Let's see. I think I want to do some triangles. That's what we're going to do. We're doing shapes, guys. Geometry sounds fun. Triangles or stripes? Yeah, GNS. There you go. We'll see if they're still doing their thing. You know what? Screw it. We're doing rising sun on this. Might as well. As if the rising sun is out of view here. That's how we're going to play this one. Yeah, Alistair's here to talk to you all about Bathtub Larry, in case you were wondering. What am I doing here, by the way? I'm just having fun. Because why not? Triangles. Aren't triangles fun? Triangles, rectangles, it's just shapes. Shapes are just fun. Because popsicles are boring. I didn't even mean to make that statement. I'm sorry. It just came out. Let's see. I think I'm going to do just a pink background on this. Because why not? We're going pretty pink today. Yeah, that's true. That's true. True that, Alistair. Alright, continue the rising sun this way a little bit. And what I'm going to use on this is a real watery pink ink, so it should let that wood grain come through. So Sky asked, do you prefer round tail or boxy tail? I personally like a good fish tail, something that tapers out further past the width that it has on the truck bed. The square tails are fun too. It's hard to ask me preference because I bring around like several setups and end up skating them all. All right, that's a lot of tape. I'm just gonna do this for funsies, because why not? One straight line across the whole thing. One straight line below the truck bed. All right, now let's move on to graphics, guys. Streamlabs, no, I'm not going to do that. I would need to turn off that chat. I like halfway set up a chat bot and now it's in my chat. I don't like it. I didn't mean to do that. I don't want you here. Morgan's a better moderator. I like her better. She's a person. Stop it. Look at that, guys. You're demanding stuff of me. Little Streamlabs over here demanding stuff. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and put these blocks in my pocket. I have never printed on boards with these. I have only printed the Butter Bars wax packaging with these. So we'll see how that goes. Grab my keys and we will go into the printing studio here. Printing studio is separate from all of this to keep the dust away. Grab my keys. And here we go. Walking. We're walking. It's a little gloomy outside. Well, it might be. But also, I'd be happy to let him, if Streamlabs were, then I'd be happy to let them live their life however they want to, because it doesn't impact me in any way, shape, or form. I made a face? Did I make a face? I didn't know I made a face. I'm sorry. So I ride Ace 55s on mine. But we do have decks that go all the way up to 11.75, and I have one of those set up with the slappy wide body 11-inch trucks, Dogtown wheels with the 1/2-inch overhang. Did I make a face? I feel y'all are making me self-conscious about my face now. Don't do that. Don't do that to people on the internet. Carefully move this one here. Oh, that's a beautiful board. All right, so here we are in the printing studio at Life Skateboards. So like I said, I'm gonna do pink for a base on this. The park I skate at all the time is pink and purple. I like to do that. Can you? Yes, I can. There's actually a full edit in my shorts of skating the 11.75. Right on, cool. Thanks, Eli. Look at that. It's people making me all self-conscious and then fixing my self-consciousness. Thank you. The internet's kind of cool. But yes, so when you're skating a really heavy board, normally, like if this is your speed for a kickflip, you're gonna have to wait because there's a lot of weight coming up. So pop, wait, hold it, then flick. That should fix your flip tricks on heavier boards. I've never skated a 22-inch wide board, but the 12-inch wide I have kick flipped. Let's see, big spin tailed. I won a game of skate with one. I don't know, I'll have one tonight. Thank you, Fawn, I appreciate you. You guys are rad. Dude, the internet's usually like a pretty hateful place, and somehow I found this little corner of really nice people. You guys are awesome. Alrighty, so we're going for pink. That's orange. Where's my pink ink here? Here we go. Magenta and pink, close enough, right? 22 would be wild. Yeah, I mean, wider boards, they never lost popularity. It was just, I've got some opinions here. The industry really pushed popsicles and small boards when it was the easiest thing to make. So, but yeah, there are large boards. We've been making egg shapes and things like that for the last long time. I want a wider roller for this. But yeah, I like wide boards. Small boards are, I don't know. It's just, I enjoy something significant under my feet, you know what I mean? I also like something exciting under my feet. Popsicles are just boring. We still make them, but they're boring. Let's all admit it. So like I said, this is a little bit of a watery ink that I'm using here. So you're going to be able to see the wood grain pop through, and that's what I want. I hate hiding the wood grain on these beautiful boards. And like I said, this is considered a Casper collage, so most of the time we're just going to use a lino block to apply our graphics. But I'm going to do a background, a double print, and some other fun stuff with this. Yeah, it feels comfortable. I mean, I'll hop on somebody's 8-inch board and it's easy to skate, but what's fun about easy? You know what I mean? Skateboarding wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to be a challenge. And when it's runny like this, gotta take my time getting it on there. And what I really hope happens is when I do this first print with the lino block, it pulls some of this pink up and gives it a nice little cool effect. That's what I like about using lino block. You get a random effect all the time. Ah, it says he's small. So you can't flip your board. Well, remember, small people can have big legs too. That was a real weird way to say that, but you know, squats, there's lots of exercises to work on your flick. You can be building strength this way, you can be building strength this way, you can do jumping squats to fix your pop, all kinds of stuff, you know. I turn into a little bit of a smartass when people talk about boards being too heavy, because we all have the ability to get stronger. You know what I mean? And I do not mean that as an insult in any way, shape, or form. I hope that's always like a click moment, like oh, wait a minute, I can. Because there was a point where I was like, dang, you can't do this. And then I spent... It was when I was learning front foot impossibles, I had a really bad issue with my front foot. As soon as I went to wrap my front foot, my back foot would just bounce around. I could not figure that out, and so I started to do a lot of balance training, core strength training, and just basically training in that specific position until I can now front foot impossible on decks that are super tiny for my foot to balance on. You never know. You can always get stronger. That's skateboarding for you. I think Jim Gray said we use what we have in skateboarding. You got to build it up. Hi, JD from the Philippines. How's the skateboarding scene over there? A couple people have popped into my lives from the Philippines, but I have no clue what the skateboarding scene's like over there. I am an ignorant American that is unaware of your culture. Tell me about it. I'm an ignorant American that is happy to learn, if that's better. I always like hearing about skate cultures in other countries, because there's a lot of similarities, you know? Like, we can all have wildly different personal cultures, and then you get to the skateboarding culture and we're all the same. I love it. Always practice. Hope you guys are liking... Oh, this is turning out pretty neat. I'm liking it. I hope you are. Ready for this satisfying part? Here, we'll angle this down. Hey, that's awesome. I love hearing that. You guys have like a lot of parks over there, or what's that situation? Because that would... I don't know what the park situation in that area at all is. All right. So that's a pretty neat base right there. I like that. Now we're going to ruin it with my graphic. So I always try to print these twice. Once in white and then once in black to make it pop. And then maybe I'll go back with a gold ink to use my own lino blocks. So first we're going to pop out this, find my graphic here. There's mine. So this is my graphic by Ben Blakely. It's a big stamp. Love it. Oh, dang. One in every city. That's pretty cool. We've got a lot here. If anybody complains about not having skate parks in the U.S., they need to look around. All right, so I'm going to do my dog on the bottom half here. That's my doggy. It's Lori. And then we'll, let's see. let's go ahead and line up my whole board there and that there. All right, yep, that'll work. So we'll go ahead and print it once in white and then one more in black to make it pop. Thank you, not done yet. So let's grab that white ink real quick. Here we go. We use little pieces of veneer to scrape the ink out of there and use all of it. Alrighty. It's like I said before, we apply all of our graphics with hand-carved lino blocks, specifically to preserve the quality of the boards. Industry standard is to use a heat transfer. Now, the thought process behind using heat transfer is to be able to make a lot of photorealistic images or the same image over and over again really quickly. And while quantity might be important to a factory, we care about quality a lot more than that. And heat weakens the bond between glue and maple, so we don't really want to put your board through a heat roller. So we'd rather do the little things that it takes to make sure your board is high quality and it's going to last as long as it can. We got people that on the same board for years. If you get an 8-ply from us, you can park your car on that thing. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now that that's down on there, yes, smush it down into place and use a roller to get it on there real good. Oh, I'm sure you'll meet me one day, dude. Joey, I'm sure you'll meet me. I'm very, very accessible. That's what people find surprising. I mean, I deliver boards to people at parks around here, so. So this is not a factory, this is a workshop. But this is located in Indiana, New Palestine, Indiana. The shop itself was up in Muncie. And then we moved down here, which is 20 minutes east of Indianapolis. I was commuting to Muncie to work because it's a dream job for me. I mean, born and raised in Indianapolis, but Indiana fawn. What's up, Zach? Glad you popped in here. It is going to look sick. I've needed a board for a minute. So one of the things that I do when I'm pulling off my graphic is to pull it off in little segments just to make sure I didn't miss anywhere. Alrighty. Now you guys are going to see this. Ready? So this is my signature graphic. If you order my board, this is what automatically comes on it. Just this graphic itself, not the background, but I can do the background for you. Ready? Alrighty. That's exactly how I wanted it. So now I'm going to grab the Lori graphic, set my graphic aside, and apply white ink to that. And we're going to apply the Lori graphic right there. So it'll say Life. Cut off her ears a little bit, but she'll be all right. We're going to pretend she tied them back. When she puts her ears back, she looks like Princess Leia, and we call her that. There's your little Lori fact for the day. We got cool. Do you plan on testing it out later? Yeah, we are printing. I mean, yeah, I got a skate. I've been skating this shape for over a year. My current board doesn't have much pop left in it, and there's a session tonight, so yes, I've got to skate tonight. I skate every day, or at least try to, so yeah. My entire life, free time, work, sleeping, breathing, everything, it's skateboards. You know me, I'm breathing in a whole skateboard a week. dreaming about skateboarding. I wake up, I go clean a skate park. It's all skateboarding for me. That's all I do. Alrighty. Yeah, slap this down on there. Try to get it as close to my other graphic as possible. So a little bit of history on this graphic. So I clean skate parks. I'm an ambassador for Skate Park Respect, nonprofit with the goal of keeping skate parks clean so that cities can use that cleaning fund to build better and improve their parks. I showed up at my local park at about 6 a.m. one day, and there was a dog that was dumped there. Tried to find her a home, fell in love with her, took her in. I was financially struggling at the beginning of all that, and my boss made a graphic. Had a graphic commissioned. We did a pre-sale order on those to help get some more work and get things going. So this graphic has the 8 stair at the park she was found in, and her. And a moment of truth in a second here. Let's slide this so you all can see it. All right. Ooh, I didn't like that side. See, that's why I pull it up. And I also need to remember this is just a base. So, all right. So yeah, we've got her sitting in front of the 8 stair there. That makes me happy. Hey, awesome, you got a hard roller. Thank you. I'm glad we linked up to talk about that a little bit further. Took me a second to remember who I was talking to, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, so there's the white. Now I'm gonna apply it with a black ink to make this pop. So whenever I do my own boards, I always try to double print them, offset it a little bit. It makes that graphic just pop a little bit better. So find our black ink here. Find my scoop, break my scoop in half because I might need it again. I only got one left. All right. Now, most of the time and on a customer's order, I would probably wait for this to get cleaned off and dried. But this is my own board. I'm gonna rush it. This second print might come out a little bit gray instead of black, but we'll see. We'll try to make this work. I'm gonna try to go thick on there. See if I can overpower the white that's still left on there. All right, looks like I was able to keep it nice and pretty solid black on there. All right, so now we're gonna do the offset print. This is a nerve-wracking part of it. If I mess it up, oh well, it's mine. If it's a customer's board, I gotta sand the whole thing off and start back over. Hey, thank you, Beachcomber. I wish they would have kept it alive themselves, but here we are. That's awesome. I got one of the original shapers from Old Schmidt Sticks on here. That's a pretty cool thing to have on my life. I've made some public comments about them kind of shifting away from this and losing some of the quality factors with the factory, and Mr. Schmidt did not like it. Woo! That's already looking good. I am so excited. Thank you, Beachcomber. I actually, if you go back, it might have not been the best idea, but I used his 9 Club where he said 19 people touched this board. and made an ad out of it because I was like, man, there's only 2 people at this company and there's 19 fingers, but you know, I don't think he liked that one. But yeah, I do agree with you. It's crazy, isn't it, that they could have moved. Isn't it crazy that they, instead of, one of the things that blows my mind about the industry standard is that they could have automated screen printing, but they didn't. And there's automation for screen printing for shirts. I mean, hell, if you're screen printing medical trays, there's an automation for it. Why did they switch to heat transfer instead of automating screen printing to preserve the quality when they knew they could do it? But I mean, I wasn't around for it. I was just a customer. Maybe I was just a gleam in my family's eye before that, but when that was happening. But I can't control what they did. I'm just here to happy that I'm working with people that are doing everything the right way. My boss has 9 fingers, 8.5 actually. Sam Cook, woodworker by trade, 1.5 years or so ago, pushing through a table saw, cut some fingers off, and we actually made a graphic out of it. My boss is a badass, and he would never let you know it, but these are my boss's hands clasped in prayer. A little hard to see, but there's no fingers right there. All right, you guys ready for this to get pulled off? Woo! Guys, I'm real happy with this. I love it when this turns out like this. The offset's so perfect. Look at that. I like the offset because it just makes everything pop and makes the pattern in the shirt look really good. It is definitely. So I used to ride for, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but I used to, before I rode here, I rode for Dead End Skateboards. They get their boards directly from a manufacturer and then do a full board screen using Tim Barron's artwork. Tim Barron did the graphics for, thank you, Beach. He did some of the graphics for Super 8. He did the Tony Hawk, what is it? The Plague Doctor mask thing. And thank you. But yet, I really fell in, that was like my first step into the more hands-on a brand is, the better quality it's going to be. And now I'm with the company that does everything. So, it is definitely a dying art. Those cages were insane to watch him stretch those. I never got into the actual printing of the boards. That was something that they reserved for the guys that were there a lot longer than me and Megan, the team manager. But the process was insane. Seeing how they did it, I just love it. There's an appreciation for it that a lot of the industry is lost. It's sad. Thank you, Fawn. Wait till the second one comes out. I hope that the stairs at this park is actually a memorial. So it's really awesome to have this graphic there, especially when I'm at the park all the time and I've got the park on my skateboard. I love that. Alrighty. I'm just making sure there's full coverage on this block here. It's going to turn out a little bit gray, I'm noticing. Some of this ink is a little gray. Alright. Just slap this guy on there, roll it, spray it, and then maybe we can just talk for a minute because I'm going to have to let some of the graphic dry before I can clear coat it. All right, there we go. I'm really sorry to hear that, man. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude. His influence is insane. I ride with I hang out with a group of skateboard collectors that would absolutely love to meet you and thank you for your involvement in early skateboarding. I can thank you for that. I can thank you personally for your involvement in early skateboarding. Because if it weren't for people like you, where would I be? I wouldn't have a job right now. Hell, I wouldn't be alive because I wouldn't have had skateboarding to save my life. So I'm sorry that that pushed you out of skateboarding, but I just hope you know that people that know appreciate the people that paved the way for us. So I'm sorry to hear that. Dang it. Well, hopefully we're serving him proper here, doing what we're doing. Alrighty, and there's the other half of the graphic. Made her pop. It says Lori right there in the corner. So there's my board. I love it. With the clear coat, it's gonna pop really well. I am gonna go ahead and clear coat this. I just have to clean these off, let it dry, and then I'm out of here. So if you guys have any further questions, hey, Beachcomber, I would love it if you subscribe so I can subscribe back after this live. I wish you guys could send me a message because awesome meeting you here in this live. But I would hate to lose contact with you after all that. Whew. Yeah, that was 2009. That would have been, so Sam ran his shot from 2001, about 2008, took a little break and then started his. So you were popping in right around when he was stepping out and then back in. But all right, well, it was great meeting you all. It was great talking to you all. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all done here. If you guys have any questions, ask me real quick. If you have any direct questions, you can email. Oh, the vert resurgence. That's what you said. Oh man, you're gonna love us. We got the riot vert ramp is in one of our team riders' backyards now. Gavin Svetlik. So yeah, vert terrifies me. But because of those guys, I can now drop in on vert, send really stink-bugged frontside airs, and slash the coping frontside, but that's about it. I need to get out to the ramp and get better at it. I'm going to finish up all my work here, and then get out to Lawrence Skate Park this evening for the Lady Skate Squad meetup. If you're local to Indy, come on out to that. I'll have butter bars for sale. Might even have a couple life boards for sale. Don't forget, go to lifeskateboard.com if you enjoyed watching this. If you enjoyed watching this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Beachcomber, I'm really sorry, but I was a... Real quick before I go, I'm going to give you the reasons why I was so to myself back then. I was a heavily insane addict for a very long time, and the only thing I could pay attention to was that little toy underneath my feet. So I am like ignorant to a lot of stuff that happened back then. But now I got somebody's part to look up, John Comer. I'm going to look that up when we get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. You guys have a great day. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and thank you all so much. Thank you, Fawn. Hopefully I see you in the next live. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and don't forget, get a life!